you're live. Go. Okay. Welcome today's Footbridge concert. I'm Ann Beasley, and I'm a board member here. And we're really excited to have Dr. Amanda McCandless here to perform for us today for our Footbridge concert. Amanda has been the clarinet professor at UNI since 2008, and she is very accomplished in her solo career. She has performed in Brazil, Italy, China, Bolivia, as well as multiple performances in the U.S. Amanda mentioned to me the other day that she has not performed a concert like this for 2 years due to the pandemic. So we're her warm-up session for her so that she will be ready for her concert this Tuesday night at the Gallagher Blue Dorn Auditorium in Cedar Falls. She performs there and requires all of her students to come and hear her. So anyway, I'm sure we're going to have a great concert today. Also, just a little bit about what's going to happen today. We have these little houses here that are available for free will donations. We also have ice cream in the ice cream shop. We have popcorn and beer, wine, and soft drinks if you're interested. So feel free to get up and get whatever you'd like, maybe even after the concert. So without further ado, let's give a warm Mason City welcome to Dr. Amanda.
Hello, and thank you so much. This is Sean Bodkin, faculty pianist at University of Northern Iowa. We've been there a couple more years than I have, and we've been performing together now for over a decade. So it's so nice to get to come here and to perform for you today. Like Ann said, it's been 2 years since I've had a recital like this, so hopefully this will just go great. And we've been practicing and we're ready to go, and I hope you enjoy it. And Ann, thank you so much for having us, and thank you for the organizers of Music Man Square for having us here today. It's just wonderful to be able to just go a little bit away from home and find this wonderful space and people who clearly are interested in promoting the arts and being involved. And so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I've prepared 4 pieces for you today. The first 2 are going to be much more traditional, kind of classical music, and then we'll take a little break. And then I've got 2 pieces that are that have been written. One is from this decade, or from the 2010s, I guess you'd call it, and then one is from the 1980s. So our first work today was written by a princess. Her name was Marie Elizabeth of Sachsen-Meiningen, and this was part of Germany before World War I, and Germany consolidated to become Germany. There were lots of little kingdoms and principalities. So her father was a duke, and he was very, very supportive of the arts. And he had 2 children, a daughter and a son, and he strongly encouraged them to play music. And my research area is into women composers who have written for the clarinet. And it's unusual to find a 19th century woman composing for the clarinet. It's unusual to find a 19th century woman composing, period, just because it wasn't necessarily considered an activity that was for women. And then the idea of finding something for clarinet, because the women that did compose would write for instruments they could play, like the piano, or the violin, or the harp, or to sing. In the 19th century, it wasn't acceptable for a woman to play the clarinet, or any instrument where you have something in your mouth. It wasn't considered ladylike. So she would probably be shocked to learn today that a woman is playing this, but I hope that wherever she's at, she's okay with it. So anyway, Marie Elizabeth studied with Johannes Brahms, and she was very active during Brahms' life and thereafter, and kind of knew all of the important artistic people. I mean, her family was very important. They were royalty. And so she wrote this short piece around the same time Brahms was writing his final works, which were for clarinet. So I imagine she was probably inspired by Brahms' association with clarinetists, which I'll tell you about when we do the Brahms in a moment, to write this piece. So again, I think it's really charming, and it's a rarity to find something from the 19th century by a woman. So I hope you enjoy this romance. into my instrument here and tell you all a little bit about the next work, which is one of the monuments of the clarinet's repertoire. And when I thought about last year when I wasn't able to perform at all, the pieces I wanted to play most were pieces like this, including one of the Brahms works, just because they're so well conceived, so beautifully designed, and I don't think there's anything finer written for the clarinet than the works by Johannes Brahms. So Brahms lived to the middle, late 1800s, and he just happened to be living in Meiningen, where we talked about Maria Elizabeth's father was the Duke, and so they had a spectacular court orchestra. So talk about government support of the arts. We had this wonderful leader who paid for these great artists, and as a result, we get great works that last throughout history. So Brahms wrote these sonatas in 1894, and he decided in 1891 that he was done. He was going to retire. He was tired. He wrote a string quartet, and he had told people he knew that I'm finished. I'm just going to not write anymore. So nobody could really believe that that was going to happen, but that's what he said. But he happened to attend a concert with that court orchestra where he got to hear Richard Mulfeld perform. Mulfeld was the principal clarinetist of this court orchestra, and he just fell in love. And fell in love with the sound. He called, Brahms called him the nightingale of the orchestra, called him his prima donna, and he was inspired to write more music, not just clarinet works, but there are a few other works that he wrote at the end of his life. And this kind of becomes his last bit of creative energy. So he started with the trio with cello and clarinet and piano, and then he wrote a quintet with strings, and then he wrote these two sonatas for Mulfeld. And you just can't find better music for the clarinet. So this is a 4-movement work. The first movement will be fast, and because it's Brahms, and because it's the end of the 19th century, it's very emotional. So you'll hear lots of different, you'll hear powerful playing, you'll hear calm and relaxed, you'll hear all different types of things. I think of these pieces as Brahms looking back on his life and having all these memories, and he clearly lived a very interesting life. The second movement is a slow movement, and the third is a minuet, so a bit of a dance. And then the last movement, the vivace, is incredible, and I always tell Sean, it's my job to stay out of his way, because these are not clarinet solos, these are true chamber works, and we get to work together to play these. So this is the Brahms F minor, number 1 sonata.
Yeah. Come on, pretty dear Charles.
So the next piece I'm going to perform for you is written by a living composer. Her name is Jenny Brandon, and this is one of the pieces I discovered as I get ready to record another CD. I started a series of CDs of works by women composers, so that any clarinet player who's interested and they find a piece, if they can't find a recording, they tend not to play it. They tend to just maybe pass that by and look for something that has a recording. So I feel like if I'm doing a service, or I hope I'm doing a service anyway, by recording these pieces so that you can always find a recording of it. And then if you hear it and you don't like it, well, then you don't have to play it. But at least, you know, this is a way to introduce lesser-known composers, particularly women composers, to kind of the broader clarinet world. And Jenny Brandon is a bassoonist, but I don't hold it against her. And she did a lot of wonderful woodwind pieces, and I played a couple of her pieces with a trio that I was in with oboe and bassoon, and found this, and I think, again, charming work, and it was a nice piece to practice during the pandemic because it was really easy to play unaccompanied pieces because you're by yourself. So this has it's a three-movement work, and it's called Starry Night, and it is, in fact, based on the Van Gogh painting, Starry Night. So each movement is about the stars and about how looking at the stars can, you know, lead us to dream. So she has quotes written before each of the three movements. So I'll read them for you and then play the movement so you can kind of get what her inspiration was. But again, it's all about dreaming and looking at the sky and, you know, just enjoying, you know, the beauty of the night sky. So the first movement, the starlit night. Look at the stars, look up at the skies. Oh, look at all the fire folk sitting in the air. And that's attributed to Gerard Manley Hopkins. next movement, Bright Star. Bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art, not in lone splendor hang aloft the night. That's attributed to John Keats. The sight of stars. For my part, I know nothing with any certainty, but the sight of stars makes me dream. And that's attributed to Vincent van Gogh. kind of goes back to the pandemic too. Not able to play with anybody, so you want to play with somebody. So a good way to do that is to play with recordings. And this is actually a work that's designed to play with a recording or with a live group of people, it just depends. This is a New York Counterpoint by Steve Reich. Steve Reich is a composer. He's still alive, and I think he's still composing. But this is from 1983, and Steve Reich writes in the minimalist style. So if you're familiar with Philip Glass or John Adams, the composer, not the founding father, that's sort of the same sort of school. Whereas you hear lots of repetition and a lot of the same. And what he wants you to notice is when things change. And they don't change a lot. It's not like with Brahms where, for a minute I'll be in this mood, and then I'll be in this mood, and then this kind of stays pretty static. But there'll be small changes. And so Reich's idea is he wants you to notice the small changes. And so this was written for Richard Stoltzman. If you know clarinet playing, Richard Stoltzman is an enormously important soloist and commissioned a lot of works, still commissioning lots of works. So it's designed for 11 clarinet parts. And so I'm going to play the 11th part. And I have a recording here of the other 10. So you play along. You can also play this live if you want to with 11 clarinets. I've never attempted it with my students simply because I'm afraid of the counting nightmares, because as you'll hear, it's so much repetition and you really have to stay mentally focused throughout. And I think they could do parts of it, but doing it for 11 minutes, one of these days they can prove me wrong. They can maybe show me that they can do it. But it's not performed live often at all. Usually when you perform it with a recording. And the idea is you can record it yourself, or you can use somebody else's recording. This is Evan Zaporin, who is a clarinetist based in Boston, composer as well, recorded this, and I got the recording from the publisher. And so I'm able to play it that way. So you're going to hear 3 distinct parts, and you'll hear, again, lots of repetition. And if you like the first half, this may not be your cup of tea. If the first half you're like, you might really like this. So we'll see. I hope you enjoy it. I enjoy playing it a lot. I think it's the closest to rock kind of music that I ever get to play. It's sort of more, definitely a different kind of concept from everything else that I've played today. Once again, Anne, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Music Man Square, for hosting us today. This was just so much fun, and it's so nice to be able to play for people again and to be out in the world, and hopefully we can start doing more things like this and having more work like this. So, here goes New York Counterpoint. So did I turn the speaker on? I think I turned the speaker back on. And that would be a problem. I didn't. But I'm good. All right. Speakers are on. I think we can do this now. 7 to 8 minutes, so probably I'll back it up.
gosh, how could you? I know.
I gotta see it.
What's that? Oh, I'm sure.